Julia. I had to go to part 4 of the Syracuse Criminal Courthouse. Before the judge, he wouldn't tell me the judge I was going before. Okay, I go before the court. I go there at 10. I had to be there at 9:30. I got seen at 10:42 p.m. for Judge Rosenthal. He was moving this to Judge Rosenthal. So saw a whole bunch of public defenders, which is unusual because I have been complaining to the public defenders that there's no proper, competent representation for the people, including myself. So all of a sudden there's a table set up. There's a deputy there, I guess trying to get people who are also there for bench warrants, but they had a couple other females there before me that had bench warrants, but they were let go. The guards were kind of waiting to pounce on this one lady. I prayed so hard for that woman to get released. She had a job. Didn't make any sense. Arrest this woman. But I knew I was getting arrested. They're always doing that, so I could care less at this point. But I go there, saw the lawyers. All of a sudden, I didn't have my lawyer there because he came at 2. He came later. Telling me to come at 9:30, so he wanted me to be arrested. No problem. I get there, spoke to a lawyer, Mr. Dan Echo. He had like some weird name like that. And then I saw that he was frauding me. So I let him know that, you know, your services is no needed. I want the paper that I signed. I want to revoke it. Because, you know, I wanted to have some kind of legal counsel because then I know I'm going to jail. You know, to prevent any unlawful arrest, even though the case is moot, but just for their game's sake, for their game, to play their game. So, okay. So, the lawyer sits his ass down after I said what I said to him about him being a fraud, because he's making a ruling. He's telling me I'm wrong, I'm lying, all this other shit. So, we obviously have a conflict in your fraud, so you need to get away from me. So, I get my papers back. Not the ones I signed, but the ones that I showed him that I got from the second floor. The first floor, room 130, from the clerk. Her name was Georgiana. She was a fraud too. She needs to definitely be arrested. So that's just what that is. But she gave me forms for my original arrest from July of 2017. I asked for the arrest for June 21st, 2018, where I was held for 5 days in jail unlawfully. She wouldn't give that to me. Would not. So what can you do? Take what I got, wrote down a note, you know, have to do a statement about that. So that's where I'm at. So I leave there, I go back down, because something told me at first, just leave and come back at 2. See what happens at 2. But, you know, let me just see, because I don't want them to say I didn't show. I'm showing myself, but it was just weird. So 10:43 come, one of the deputies says, no, the judge is going to hear your case. Just stay here. So I stayed. 10:43 from 9:30, I'm in front of Judge Ross Andrew. So I walk up to the post after they call me. And then, what'd he say? He's saying, you know, he's calling me up. And then this woman stands up as if she's now defending me. Now, I don't know this woman's name. Don't know where she's from. Speak to this woman, nor consent it to it. So she's trying to ask me, why did I miss court on May? What month was that? May 22nd. So I'm telling her, I have counsel and I have medical conditions. I can't attest verbatim where the fuck I was. So that's where we're at. So now the lady is asking me, I guess she's trying to stand there as my counsel. So I said, I told her, you know, I was resisting, like, no, you're not my counsel, I have a legal counsel. Told her where my counsel was. All of a sudden, she says, okay, talk. So I looked at the judge, the judge looked at me as if like he had consent to let me speak. So I spoke. And I said, Your Honor, I met you on July 26, 2017. And I asked you on the record and for the record for jurisdiction. You nor the court proved jurisdiction. Then I said something about the fraudulent order protection. Went into my little quick little speech. He looked at me like he wanted to pop me upside the head. He just gets the look, no problem. And I just requested jurisdiction. You didn't prove it in 2017. You haven't proven it now in 2018. This case is moot. You have to dismiss it. And he said, I'm sending the case over to Judge Kate Rosenthal. I'll let her prove it to you. Okay? So then he says, bad news, you're getting arrested. Good news, you'll see her. You'll be before her at 2 p.m. Deputy Schultz CEILTZ, and JUPAC, JUWPAC. Tell me to put my hands behind my back, and they escorted me out, and that was that. I get before Judge Kate Rosenthal the same day at 2:43 p.m. So now they're trespassing against my case because the case was supposed to be at 2 o'clock. They take their time and become very discourteous by bringing my case later and holding me longer than what they should have. They had no legal standing to hold me in the first place, but for their fake, for their fake game, okay, of law. But nevertheless, I get there. The judge is like, very quick to say dismiss. She's like, dismiss, the case is dismissed. I got out there within 2 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I hear dismiss. My lawyer jumps up, okay, we'll take the dismiss. And then the judge says, if there's no options, we're going to dismiss the case. And then she says something that I knew was a lie. But me objecting at this point will have me further in cuffs. So I knew not to say nothing, but I could write something when I get out. She states that the doctors that already had acquitted me from any kind of unfitness for trial now has changed their testimony and say that I'm mentally defective to stand trial. Who can't tell their own story? That doesn't make any sense. I can tell you who I am, and I can tell you what they did to me. But she's now claiming this claim on the record with no proof, and then she has a stack of my documents. I see my documents that I submitted to the court. My evidence saying that I've already been rendered in 2016, mentally, clear to let's go to the trial. Let's go. So I want the jury to hear the wrongdoing, and then for the jury to recommend indictments. Let's go. And all these things, dismissal, but yet the doctors say I'm unfit. So I still was supposed to be afforded a trial. My lawyer accepted the, he didn't accept shit. It was just agreeable that the changed the DA from Mr. Murphy, who made a statement saying he was the injured party, and not identifying who he is in the record. But he's now stating problem with the case being dismissed, but I have to remand myself to OMH, Office of Mental Health. Wait a minute. The case has been dismissed. So now you have no jurisdiction, even in your fake case. So how can I be remanded to OMH when there's no order? You have not won. No trial has been commenced. They have already exceeded the statute of limitation. And then so here we go with more tricks. And I'm already here. Just been in jail, been violated. Officers, deputies following me in the fucking room when I was supposed to be dressed with 2 women. All kinds of fuck shit. So okay, fine. So I'm just trying to get out of there so I can start a claim. And I knew something was up. The guards, the Schultz and JUPAC, and there was some other ones in there too that escorted me to the downstairs to the holding cell. So they're like, yeah, you're getting released. Aren't you happy? So I kept a straight face. Didn't look them in their face or nothing. I just was trying to be as quiet and just get it done. I'll believe it when I see it. So lo and behold, guess what? 6 more days passed. So a total of 7 days I was incarcerated, not afforded a right to speak to my attorney. Asked him to let me call my attorney because I got there on a Tuesday. So that was 1, 2, 3 days that I should have been allowed to call my attorney to resolve the issue of my arrest, because they said, we don't see anything that you're supposed to be released. We heard, but we don't have it. It's not in the computer yet. Maybe it's coming. We can't release you till we get it. No, you had a direct order from a fucking judge. Just like you didn't need no paperwork to put them fucking handcuffs on me. You didn't need no paperwork to let me go. All right? So they didn't let me go. I was told in a couple of hours from 2:43 I would be released. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock come, no release. So then I start the guards to inquire what's going on, but they ignored me. Ignored, like they don't hear you. Like they don't fucking hear you. So at the end of the day, I was kidnapped, unlawfully seized, and threatened and just mistreated. Stripped, videotaped, all that good shit. What a fucking animal. And sent to Rochester Psychiatric ward. Well, the deputy's name that took me was Matas, Matas, a female who was disclosing her personal information, talking about she had MS. Well, bitch, you gonna be in jail with MS for kidnapping, corrupt ass, and want empathy. Bitch, you're committing a crime. And then her being of someone of color, this shit just baffles the fuck out of me. But anywho, her and another guy, I don't remember his name. The guy drove, she sat and ran her fucking mouth for over 2 hours before we got to Rochester. And what else? I get to Rochester, shackled. They're trying to humiliate some fucking animal. But all right, no problem. We get there. Another deputy and a lady named Melissa checks me in, takes my picture. And then they're talking about me like I'm not even fucking present. They using the words it, Melissa tried her best to be polite. She was cordial. It was just the deputies and their talk. But Melissa came and was trying to be very polite and shit. They said they had an order to keep me. There's no order. So I get there. I let the doctors know that I have several cases on docket. I let them know I even have a case here at 50 East Ave. So East Ave. So I was naming addresses, courts, jurisdictions, all that shit. Requested the order. I said, you're sitting before me in a whole room on camera and you won't give me the so-called document. I said, even in a court of law, you would have to show me a court order. You have my body, and I let them know it was a habeas corpus violation. You have my body in this facility by force and shit, and you won't tell me what you have to do or what you can do. You have to. He sat there asking me dumbass questions and shit. And you can see, and then he's telling me, are you in danger? Yeah. Fuck you mean, am I in danger? Well, why do you say you're in danger? I said, Syracuse police, and I just told him the little spiel about the threat, the fact that I'm here being kidnapped in your facility, and the fact that you have no reason to have my body right now. That shows right here the threat. And then he says, trying to get a reaction out of me, you don't act like someone scared for their life or their safety. I said, well, how does one procedure done? I can't stop nobody, and I don't have the resources to afford me to just take a trip until I get called into court. Who has that? So I have to deal with the motherfucking thorns and thistles as they come. So that's what I'm going to do. That was that. He didn't ask me too many more dumb questions. He asked me a few, and then the Asian man came in and had me lift up my hand, do some kind of fucking test, like I'm lying about brain surgery. I said, that's all up and through my record, because before they was using my brain surgery to say that I couldn't take care of my kids, remember? Now that shit is doing what it's doing. You see it, right? Don't switch up now, because Rochelle is talking and Rochelle is fighting and shit and doing what she needs to do for her kids, as I always been doing, on the walker, off the walker, with the tumor, without the tumor. So now, because it's inconvenient for them and it makes them look even more monstrous, they want to try to elude from that. Ain't no eluding. You did it. You did it. You fucking did it. So accept ownership and fix this. So now my kids are in Oklahoma City with Arlene Brashaw lying to the authorities, telling them to drop my claim because no one has my kids. I showed y'all the letter. If you don't like it or don't see it, go on my fucking Instagram, go on my fucking Facebook, and you'll see it. Documents are posted there, for sure. So that's where it's at. This woman wrote and said the foster mom didn't have them. The judge, the court didn't have them. The CPS worker didn't have them. Walter Newman did. This bitch just lied. Okay? Her clients have been physically, I have sole and physically custody of my kids. So if they were physically here, they would be here. They're not. What else? So the 7th day, which was August 6th, 2018, I was released from Rochester Psychiatric Center the same day. They couldn't get me out there fast enough. They didn't feed me. They didn't give me nothing to drink, nothing. They wanted me out. They said, because I asked them, I said, so can I leave? Yeah, it was like you were never here. So I asked for a receipt saying that I was here. They said, no, it was like you were never here. So the woman, Elizabeth, a case social worker, that's why she kept saying that I had another social worker. Elizabeth was the last social worker. But see, I'm going to hold all of them accountable. And because if they're actually social workers, I can go after their licenses and all that shit. I tried to do that before. and it was like the National Association of Social Workers, so NASW. I did a whole complaint, got everything together for the little laws, like they said. You're going to put like 2 laws that you want to argue. I did all that shit. Sent it to them certified mail. They sent it back because the social workers were not social workers. They were case workers, and they were not regular, just like me. You could just get a job with a social title. Okay? So that's where that happened. But they had sent me a little letter. I still have it. And it says they said they were very so this time, now that I have some social workers who are actually social workers, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I did good with my complaint with the social workers, but the social workers I had went after to, have an investigation and check their, credentials and put a, report against them. They were not social workers. So these ones from Rochester to Syracuse, and the names that I do have, I'm going to do it again. So that's that. What else? I got out that day, and during my time and stay in custody, I requested a phone call just to call my sister to let her know that I'm in jail. I called her that morning, I think, before, and I said, if you don't hear from me like in a day or two, try to come to the house. But she didn't have the key, so I had to call her to let her know where to get the key, and all that stuff, and to check on the dog. So because the police would not allow me a constitutional call, anytime from Tuesday all the way to that Monday, I didn't get a call until I got to right afternoon. So I explained it to the doctors. If I come home and see my dog dead, I'm going to carry that little dog's body to the news place and report this case. Now I know that should definitely attract some attention. A black woman holding a dead dog, that's gonna draw some attention. Okay? Because you just don't see shit like that. And at this point, how am I gonna tell my kids that their dog has met her little demise? So that was that. Now that was, where I was at that point in Rochester, ready to show my ass as much as possible. It's like, I'm going to report this. I'm gonna walk around this motherfucking area with proof, evidence of somebody get wind of it. Okay, and I meant what I said. Rochester got me out of there so fucking quick. Okay, so now I'm free. Case is dismissed. I need to get dispositions, orders of disposition, because if the case is dismissed, and if the DA wanted another psychological report, okay, case dismissed, psychological report done. All right, now that's dismissed, and it should have been dismissed from day one, but it wasn't. So liability claims. Let's go. So that's it. That's where I'm at. Getting dispositions and getting some more claims filed and getting indictments. Because this was just ridiculous. This was ridiculous. For someone's mother to go through this. For someone to go through this. And these people think it's sport, but see, it's almost like it's like a menu to violate kids and families. So I don't know who the sickles are altering or tampering with our kids, but that's what we need to do, some discovery demands. Who benefits from this? Social Security Administration, they do. So you have to go after them and just go after everybody. All the way to the top, to the bottom. Supreme Court. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. That's my update. And I go to court for family court on the 29th at 9:30 before Judge Judge Hagusak. So that's supposed to be another permanency hearing. Now we've had like fucking 40 of them. Okay, I don't know what the hell the problem is. And all I can do in this fake ass court is try to talk on the record. But see, you got to realize that Kitty Whitmore, one of the court reporters, is altering the fucking record. She's sitting here typing up shit like the judge didn't. No, bitch, don't write what he felt. Bitch, write what he said. She's typing up, and these people are giving me fucked ass copies of emotional statements. He didn't want to do this. He didn't fuck. You know better than that, Kitty, and any other fucking court reporter. You know you're supposed to write just what was said, no more, no less. All these fucking interpretations of what the judge felt. That does not count in the court of law, and that further affirms my case against the court clerks, court reporters, of my claims of altering the record and spoliation of my case, trespass and spoliation of my case. So that's now affirmed. And then they also stated that they wanted to teach me a lesson. Okay, but what was this teaching my children? That affirms my KKK. All right, that's it. My 1983 affirms. That's all it's teaching. My kids now know what oppression feels like, what racism looks like, who racists are. Okay, that's all they learned. Oppression, slavery, injustice. So, to the CPS worker Doretha Hogan, bitch, you gonna learn it too. You gonna learn what jail feel like. You gonna feel the coldness, the hard cell. You gonna feel exactly what I felt.